Now we'd like to invite the Rector of UIN Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta, Profesor Dr. Ahmad Minhaji, MA, Ph.D. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Profesor Dr. Ahmad Minhaji, MA, Ph.D.
Saya memperkuat apa yang telah disampaikan oleh Ibu Wakil Rektor 3 yang menyampaikan terima kasih serta selamat datang kepada semuanya. Dan tentu saja saya menggarisbawahi juga misalnya ketika beliau mengungkapkan terima kasih kepada Gubernur Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta yang diwakili oleh Asisten Gubernur. Terima kasih. Dan tadi juga sudah didoakan oleh Iran, mudah-mudahan gubernur kita panjang umur dan bisa memelihara umat yang saling menghargai perbedaan. Saya kira itu penting sekali. Dan yang tidak kalah penting tadi ini ceramah dari atau sambutan dari Iran yang pakai bahasa Persia itu. Di awal-awal saya agak kurang paham gitu. Kami lama-lama paham juga karena setelah pikir-pikir kok kayak sama dengan bahasa Madura gitu. Jadi saya mikirin apa saya pakai bahasa Madura saja supaya mereka paham gitu kan. Walaupun bapak-bapak mungkin tidak paham. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bihudurikum fi hadhihi al-jami'ah al-islamiyah al-hukumiyah Sunan Kalijaga di Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Itu aja misalnya gitu kan. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers and sisters in Islam, honorable guests and speakers, more particularly our honorable guest from Iran. And this morning we signed MOU between Institute of Quran, if I'm not mistaken, in Iran and our university, and hopefully in maybe April we try to implement that kind of MOU. Frankly speaking, the topics of our conference today is of very much important, not only for Muslims in Iran and Indonesia, but also for all human beings, for all nations in this era. And you know, the title is very interesting. If we read International Conference on Women and Family, I just want to modify a little bit. International Conference on Women, Men and Family. To make it more complete. Because men is also important. Brothers and sisters in Islam, what I'm trying to present here is to give some picture, to give some notes on the woman, men, and family we have today. In fact, my presentation is more about questions rather than answers, more about problem rather than solutions. The answers and solutions are hoped and expected from the audience, from the speakers, and also from the papers discussed during our conference today. Now we start from the second. This is just emphasize what you have present before, that West goes to the West, the East goes to the East. So two things which are very different. And I'm trying to use Smith's theory of paradigm that he called central and peripheral domain. So it is impossible to answer the problem faced by a Muslim or Muslimah without going into the deep and detail based on the Quran and Hadith. But it doesn't mean that we don't need the Western ideas. No. We are not going to say that. What we are going to say that as a Muslim we have to start from ourselves. But to develop our understanding about ourselves, we can study anywhere. That, I think, one of the important meaning when the Prophet Muhammad said, "Utlu bil ilma walau bisin." Utlu bil ilma walau bi Indonesia. So, Iranian then coming here now. Then after that, we are going to come to Iran, inshallah.
Amen.
Yeah, next. I don't want to explain this in more detail, but I just want to give you a picture between the meaning of religion and science, that between West and East is different, between West and Islam is different, and these differences have a very serious implication on everything in Islam, including about woman, man, and family. Next. This is also, yeah, next, yeah, go next. Can you go? If not, I'm going by myself. Doesn't work? Oh, that's the problem. So I just try to give some picture the difference between West and Islam, particularly concerning the meaning of religion, the meaning of science, and the meaning of law in the West, and also the meaning of law in Islam. That is for me. Oh, this already finished. Okay. It's good. And yeah, next, go next. Next again. I think this is the extent of the difference between law in Islam and law in the West. Next. Can you do that? No? Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, next. Next. Dan sudah itu selesai kan gitu kan? Terus next. Next again. Okay, yeah. This is some of the example of the method used by Muslim to answer the problem of woman, man, and family in Islam. I think there will be more will be explained by the presenters maybe after this. But I just mentioned that our faith, although it's not really accepted by all Muslims, but some Muslims accepted the model of our faith. And number one, I mentioned about the Sunnite and Shiite. So Mahmud Saltut is also speak in his kitab that it is important for what happened. Okay. It didn't happen for the other speakers, but it happened for me. Something not with this, maybe with the Rector. Mahmud Saltut said, among others, it is important for Sunan scholars not just read and understand the text by Sunan, but it is important also to read and understand the text written by Shiite scholars. And he said also vice versa. For the scholar, for the Shiite scholar, it is important also to read the work by Sunnite scholars. I think now is even more important in this day. To understand, to have a mutual understanding. Because of that, we have here in our library that we call it Iranian corner, because the position of Sunan, the position of Iran in the world today is very important, not only for Muslims, but for human beings in general. Because of that, our MOU between Indonesia or UN Sunan Kalijaga with Iran is also very important. Next. Yeah, next again. Just to move part to one more. Yeah, I think I just want to give you, this is some cases that we need to think very deeply. This is the problem that mentioned by our brother from Iran. This is some problem faced by human beings, not just in the Muslim world, but also human beings in general. Be it Europe, be it America, be it Asia, be it Africa, including Indonesia and Iran. We can look at that. Men abandon families, women conceive children out of wedlock, couple divorce for what were often superficial and self-indulgent reasons. So, superficial reasons. There's got married and then after that divorce. Very easily. Today, nikah and tomorrow talak. That is common phenomenon. Also in Indonesia. Not to mention today we talak and then tomorrow is nikah. I just received, sent by my friend from Madura. It's a very important island. It's very hard for me to understand that there is. It's very hard for me to understand that in the picture mentioned that one man has 10 wives. And he was very probably showing, this is my first wife, this is my second wife, this is my 9th wife, this is my 10th wife. What happened? My wife is laughing, ha 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 ha. He said, you are as Madura defeated by some people who are not Ph.D. Oh my God. Tidak doktor tapi mengalahkan yang profesor katanya. So conflict between the interests of parents and those of their children. I think this common phenomenon today. We witness it in the television almost not every day, almost every minute, almost every time, Fatherless children. They call it sometimes single parent. Probably I am a single parent. You know that the term single parent is well known and introduced in the West. Because of that, some people, man or woman, has a child, but you don't need, and it is not important to us. You have son, you have kid, you have kid, yes, but you don't need to ask, where is the father? Where is the mom? No, in Indonesia, punya anak, mana bapaknya? But in the West, there is not some kind of question. That is the very dangerous situation that the virus has come to our country. You can read all of this, all of the note here. Number 6, birth rate of unmarried women increases by 18% between 1997 and 2007. I took this information from Al Jazeera. Yes, next. The turning point meaning start from the 21st century right now, a little bit move from modern to postmodern. Some people are saying something like that. Moving from modern time to postmodern time. And this is the statement very famous in Egypt. Since the capitalism of Sadat and Mubarak had failed in the ways Nasser socialism had, it was and it is time to try the Islamic model. So now we have to come back to our principal teaching, that is Islam, the Quran and the Sunnah. Next. It's the same thing. Robert Daly said that the wrong thing happening among Muslims. They try to develop themselves, but their teaching, their learning, not from within Islam, not from the Quran and Sunnah, but from outside. Although we have understand, man arafa nafsah, arafa rabbah. That is very important for our. Is that better, Mas? Hopefully. Karena rektornya ini seringan Mas merusak mesin. Then Bernard Lewis. This is a Jew from USA, and he was the consultant of the American government. He clearly said, what went wrong among Muslims? Look at the final, Muslim, Again, one next. This one, the last one. If you look at the last one. The dominance of the West was clear for all to see, invading the Muslim in every aspect of his public, and more painfully, even his private life. This is exactly the example that women, men, and family is the private life of Muslims and has been invaded by the West idea. Next. This is a book for Indonesian maybe because it's published 2013, and now I'm just finishing the translation into Indonesian, and I give the title in Indonesian, Ancaman Paradigma Nation State di Indonesia. This is exactly that asking Muslim to back to the Sharia and not to start from the Enlightenment, which is the paradigm of the Western life. Yes, next. Sachiko Morata. That also mentioned by our brother from Iran about the problem of women. This is the third line. I give the yellow there. What few, or is that feminists who have criticized various aspects of Islam or Islamic society base their position upon what few radically aligned to the Islamic worldview. So there are many people in the West, and maybe some or few of Muslims themselves, who discuss about the problem of Muslim, but the idea is not start, it's not begin, it's not based on Islamic teaching, but rather based on another paradigm or another idea. And that's sometimes very interesting for young generation, although it's not based on Islamic teaching. So I think it's time for you, for me, and for all of us, for Muslims in the world, to give the two sources, the Quran and the Sunnah, the only principal, basic foundation for our life. Yes, still one more, I think. Yeah, this is the last. That is also the phenomenon that we have to pay attention. Okay, the last. Maybe I want to read here. We are now experiencing this following fact. A near total, no. Back. A near total solution of the ulama and mujahidun from the process of statutory legislation. Exactly, it is happening in Indonesia. But I think it doesn't happen in Iran. because the ulama, the fuqaha in Iran are still very actively participate in the legislation, in the process of legislation in Iran. But it's not the case in Indonesia. The ulama is not really, quote unquote, is not really important in relation to drafting the law in our country. Although we have Majlis Ulama, but sometimes Majlis Ulama has the like, quote unquote, second position. And this one very different between Indonesia and Iran, because religious leaders in Iran is more important, maybe more higher, right, brother? More higher than the political elite in that country. But in Indonesia, the political elite, the umaro, has more important position compared to those of the position of ulama. So I think it is very important for us to think when he said earlier total a solution. Okay, the last point. I think this is one of the important suggestions to cope with or to solve our problem we are facing today concerning or relating to women, men, and family. This is the suggestion given by, who's the name? Oh, I forget to, Fukuyama. Yeah. You can read that in the book by Fukuyama. So this is very important. Scientist, learn theologian, historian, and bioethic to solve this kind of problem. That is that I'm always saying here, in many times, in many occasions, in this university. It is not enough for us to understand Islam. It is not enough for us to understand the Quran. It is not enough for us to understand the Hadith and also the fiqh and also the seerah and whatever it is, without having a complete science. So far, we just develop our science, social sciences, and humanities. And we are not really developing the natural sciences. The Faculty of Science and Technology is just started from 2004 and still very big. And that indication, not just in Indonesia, this is the indication or the fact that we have almost all the Muslim world except Iran. Because if we are talking about technology, Iran is probably go further compared to the other Muslim society, particularly the Sunnite society. I think, brother and sister, that's all that I can give you today. Hopefully, whatever I give to you is very important to develop by the speakers and also by the who involved the idea also in this conference. Thank you very much. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much. A great keynote speech has been delivered by Professor Dr. Ahmad Minhaji, M.A., Ph.D. Professor Dr. Ahmad Minhaji, M.A., Ph.D. got his bachelor degree from Faculty of Syariah from the State Institute of Islamic Studies, UIN Sunan Kalijaga, Yogyakarta. And he got his master and PhD degree from McGill University, Canada.